Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Sunny here, and we got a new global lab update today. So we're gonna be covering it. As always, this is the Friday update. This is the patch that will be coming out. Most of the time it's one-to-one next maintenance, so on Thursday. And it's a weird one today. There is a lot of good stuff in here, and then there finally is the big patch with the DR meta, the rock meta. It's being addressed. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this one. So anyway, let's get to it. Let's cover the stuff. Right, there's some class changes here. We got Archer. Skill name appears in the list of the applicable skills. Description has been corrected to display correct. It's just like display, right? Doesn't matter. It's just text. Fixed the issue where the Jin downward slam skill could not be acquired if the gate break skill was acquired first for Guardian, and then for Seraph there's like two things. I'm not entirely sure what this is. It's worded a bit weird, but it's Google Translate, right? For Seraph, improves so that you can use linked skills while the effect of Unwavering Will 2 is maintained after using Twist Pull. So Unwavering Will, that's the one where it flows. You can do like the RMB or the space bar, right, with the LMB RMB and continue the combo. So I'm not sure exactly what it means with linked skills. There is some issue that I've noticed quite a bit where, especially if you're using some LMB skills, I hope this is what it addresses. For example, I'm in my Unwavering Will flow, and I dash to the side and do like shift LMB. So often it starts doing like the unprotected stuff and like the flowing for it instead of the actual ability I want. There's also some times where I feel like I end up just auto attacking. This like trying to use, for example, shift LMB. So maybe it's just me, but let me know if you guys have these issues as well. I hope that's what it addresses, but it's worded really weirdly. Maybe you guys can figure this one out. Judgment. After using the skill Judgment of Justice, Judgment has been improved so that it can be linked to the enemy's hiding skills. These names, dude, like, I don't even know. But yeah, hopefully after today, we're gonna start seeing some actual class balance, because this change to the DR stuff is massive, and it definitely is gonna need some class balance to make stuff playable now. But we'll get to it, right? So change to Old Academy graduation schedule. You just graduate. You can now graduate a week earlier. It doesn't mean it's ending. It's ending like several months. I forget which one, like March, August, September. I don't know. This is gonna be ongoing for a long time. Then a new season will probably start. So it's not like this is going away. But if you completed everything, you can graduate starting already February 18 and 19. And sorry, 11 and 12, Korea and the rest of the world, instead of 18. So a week earlier. I think there's like some graduation reward in it, but yeah. Guild League season is ending. That's the TLDR. The rewards, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember this number being a lot lower. Like the rest of the rewards for winning are very similar. I think they're the same as every season, but this time the number one guild is getting 500 billion silver in guild funds. 500 billions. I'm pretty sure it used to be like 50 or whatever, like 400 bill, 300 bill, 200, right? And 100 bill, 70 bill, right? So this is like huge numbers. I definitely think it's like they added a zero to it. Now this ties into what I talked about in the last video about how I really hope that PA were going to increase guild funds for all of these guild activities, node wars, competitive stuff, tournament wins, juice those numbers up. So it becomes really rewarding also to like guild missions and everything. You feel like you get a real payback for doing things for the guild and with the guild. The problem is, of course, the missing piece here is we still have the taxation numbers, the weekly limits. Like after 500 million payout, it becomes like giga reduced. The value drops off. The taxman just takes everything. So this needs to be fixed as well, so you can get like inflation adjusted payouts. 500 mil 5 years ago is a lot different than 500 mil now, right? It's time to add some numbers to these and actually reward people for doing things for the guild and with the guild. But this year, right, if this is part of it and they'll adjust the tax numbers, it's not in today's patch, great. Hope that's what they're gonna be doing here. Huge, anyway. Well, it's not really that huge because of the tax. But yeah, that's cool. It's cool to see. Everything else pretty much the same from previous seasons, the way I remember it at least. Here we go. This is the big one. I'm gonna read what it is PA wrote here. This is the dev note, and we'll talk a little bit about it and go over all the numbers, of course. But this here is definitely one where I'm gonna need your feedback in the comments about this, because this is pretty much the complete opposite of what I at least thought was the big problem, or my perception of what the problem is in PvP. So I am actually interested in hearing if this is maybe like my bias to it, or other players' bias. Maybe it's a regional thing that we have different ideas of what the issue is with the DP builds in PvP. But let's get into it, right? So they're writing here the rock meta. First off, my understanding, the way I've always been, the way I thought everyone used rock meta was in reference to 6 DP crystals, like 6 DR crystals, right? Full-on carpet builds, that they were just unkillable. You don't have enough AP in the game to actually do, like, break the DR breakpoints for these full 6 DP builds. So you have these unkillable demon lords running around, and in some cases being able to even kill full squishies, but if nothing else, being CC bots, and yeah, just basically make it unplayable. You have somebody like running it down 24/7, you can't play the game, right? That's at least my perspective of what I thought and think the issue is, right? But they're talking about that here. And this could also be like the definition using the word, but maybe the devs have a different understanding or think people mean different stuff. I've already heard from some from Russia where they didn't think that the 6DR is a problem, like only 5 people played in the entire server. Somebody said it's more like these hybrid builds. So maybe it's just, again, different regions, different experiences with this. So let me know what you guys think. In PvP has been one of the most frequently discussed topics by adventurers. We previously announced our adjustment plans at the Calthian Ball. During this time, we've been internally testing and verifying various methods. And as a result, we've concluded that readjustment the Dawn Crystal stats, which are currently the most problematic, is the most appropriate approach. The biggest reason that the rock meta has been able to endure is that the stated defense boost, the sheet stats from Dawn Crystal's damage reduction provides an additional bonus defense, making it higher efficient defensively. So they're talking about the DR bonuses depending on the DP, not the 30% damage reduction that ends at 401. With this entire rework of AP, DR, accuracy, innovation, all that, they also, I believe that was the patch release, they also added scaling bonus flat DR. Like you have the AP brackets, there's also the DR brackets that adds a bit of like hidden DR, 3 DR, whatever, every X amount of. So 5 sheet DR is actually like 6, potentially 7 DR in a lot of times, right? Well, probably 6. Depends on like where the bracket are if you're hitting it, just like with AP. So that's what they're talking about here. This has led to a widespread adoption of the so-called balanced setup. Now, do remember that when you lose the AP, you also lose the brackets, right? So same, gaining, losing. So it's actually very, very similar in terms of the stat gain and lost. But yeah, the biggest issue apparently is the balanced setups, where players build a setup that provides both attack and defense by utilizing the efficient Dawn damage reduction to ensure they have attack power to dispatch their opponents. So they're pretty much talking about like 1, 2, 3, 4 DR crystal setups. Realistically, like the 2 builds like the cookie cutter meta, right? Where you still have enough AP that you can one combo squishies, but you are tanky enough that, well, you can hopefully get to them, and in some cases, like, they can't one combo you. Depends on the class. Just want to say that real quick. I'm getting one comboed with like 4 DI in against archers, for example. So, but anyway, right? So first off, this is where like I have a disconnect with what I perceive the problem to be, which is the 6 DP build. And here PA are saying that they are perceiving the problem to not be, like the biggest problem not being the 6 DP builds, the unkillable ones. It's these balanced builds with like, say, 2 to 4, right? Right. Adventurers with attack-focused settings, full glass, had difficulty defeating adventurers with balanced settings in one, I think this means combo, but adventurers with balanced settings could defeat adventurers with attack-focused settings in a single skill combo. creating an unreasonable situation. And this is where I'm like, yeah, that when you just put it like that, oh, if you catch that guy, you can one combo him, and he can't one combo you. But I mean, are you catching the Deadeye, right? The Deadeye doesn't need to catch you to kill you. He can just kill you standing up. Other classes have better catches, and like this is where I feel like a lot of the problems stem for a few classes that have the catches, have the multi-CC, can go tanky and everything. There are definitely some classes that have this option, but I feel like that's probably like a class issue where they could adjust those. This year is going to catch a lot of classes off guard, and yes, I'm warrior biased in this because this is straight anti-warrior, which is down bad to begin with. So maybe I'm being biased here. But yeah, like it just classes function differently, right? It's like, yeah, okay, you can, but like some classes you can't go full gas on, you can't go full damage on them because you are a melee class without iframes. So you will take damage, right? It's not like a Sork that's a melee class, right? But you have spamming iframes. So you're not really taking damage. So you can afford to forgo the tankiness. So this is where I'm like, okay, some classes just function differently and cannot function as a full damage class. So yeah, it's a bit weird also because what I think the problem is not those builds, but that could be bias. Therefore, we adjusted the Dawn Crystal's damage reduction so that even when equipped, the displayed attack power and defense remains unchanged. Basically, there's only hidden stats now, but I'll show all the stats and everything, we'll cover it. While also considering adjusting the bonus stats from attack and defense, we decided to adjust the Dawn Crystal stats to provide certain level for compensation for now. However, if the adjustments are made as described above, where it's an attack-focused AP setting, could potentially gain advantage over other stats. Basically, well, everyone would be AP, pretty much are already, because since that evasion stats just aren't strong enough at the moment to stack or make good enough builds for. Therefore, we've strengthened the characteristics of evasion and accuracy to adjust the compatibility between each stats. Pretty much what they're saying here and what they're also trying to do with the numbers. Whatever they're saying here is what they're trying to do with the numbers. I just want to put that out. You get more evasion, but they're also increasing accuracy on the accuracy crystal. So they're trying to make the rock, paper, scissors, where, well, somebody that has high DR is getting countered by somebody with AP. But high AP gets countered by the high evasion, which gets countered by the high accuracy, which gets countered by the high DR. So that's the kind of stuff they're trying to do here with these adjustments. I just don't think that's going to be the reality, but we'll get to it. By adjusting stats of the evasion and accuracy crystals, adventurers with AP focus settings will have a harder time dealing damage to evasion focused adventurers, but those with accuracy will be able to inflict more damage to evasion, but then they'll have a problem with DR. This update includes adjustments to critical PvP elements and will continue to closely monitor the update after official server release to provide an even better PvP experience. And even though I've been crashing out a little bit over this, I do want to say it can be very, very hard to theory craft live server interactions. So sometimes the actual outcome, the meta changes, the play changes, can be vastly different since they're so complex with every class change and every meta affecting everything else. So it is something where we're definitely going to have to see how this feels. I know a lot of people are going to be happy, some people are going to be unhappy, but we're going to have to play it out, see how it feels, and then hopefully PA will actually listen and make needed adjustments to get a good PvP experience. So DP, oh, that's the translated version. I should have read that instead. Okay, let's see what are they actually doing. So this is the current version, and that's the changed. Quick note about the Han and the Jin versions. The reason they're the same is because the difference between those is HP. That's still going to be the case. They just don't show it because that's not changing, right? So the difference here on the DR crystals. Minus 25 sheet AP and 25 sheet DP and 4 hidden is now going to be minus 60 hidden AP and plus 27 DR. Now, brackets matter for this. So I'm just going to show you real quick here. I'll just use a hard-capped endgame AP build. It should be easier to show. Let's go in here. Where's mine? There we go. Okay. So this is just my gear at the moment. I'll up this so it doesn't really matter which one we're looking at. We go into crystals. And here, right. Currently, and before you guys type it in the comments, it doesn't matter about the DR. I'm not comparing using no DR to a DR. I'm comparing using one DR now to one DR after, so you're not using the AP crystals in any case, okay? It's just a comparison between DR before and after. Okay, so at the moment here, I'm gonna compare like how much the difference is. Right, if I put on a DR crystal right now, I am going to, on AP, I am going to lose 37 AP, and my DR, let me see here, DR is going to gain 29. Okay, is that correct? That doesn't sound right. Melee here. Yeah, that's not right. 62 and 29. Okay, so 33 DR, that sounds better. It's actually 33 DR, right? 33 DR and 37 AP. I'm sure my math is wrong, but yeah. So after the patch, I will now be losing 60 AP instead of 30. Oh my god, I should have done this beforehand. I'm sorry for doing this live math. Me and math is not 37. 37, so that's going to be 23 more AP I lose. All right, from 37 to losing 60. That's over 50% more AP loss. And I'm gaining 27 DR instead of 33. So the net difference is 1 DR crystal right now versus 1 DR crystal after. I'm going to be losing 37 AP and 5 DR. Yeah, that's basically the net result. 1 DR crystal, right? They can stack up. Depending on, and the reason why you have to do like at every level and everything is because of the brackets being different, right? So that's a huge nerf, especially on the damage. Even factoring in the brackets. All right, and then I also did the numbers on using like 3 DR crystals right now versus using 2 DR crystals after the change. And it was something like 35 less DR and 6 AP less. So if you're trying to maintain the same damage, like 3 DR crystals now versus 2, well, you're still losing 6 AP, but you're also then having like 30 something less DR. It's kind of crazy. And for the evasion ones here, they're changing the AP as well. The TLDRs, they don't want bruiser builds. They don't want like mid builds, it seems. And then evasion is getting bumped up a bit, but you will lose a bit of DR, seeing as you don't get the brackets anymore for the sheet DP. That's DR only, right? So every crystal is going to give you 11 more evasion. Right, so that's gonna be 66 more evasion if you're running full, but obviously you lose a lot of AP and you lose a little bit of DR because of the brackets. But yeah, and then they're also buffing the accuracy crystals by 24. Alright, so every evasion is 11 more evasion, but every accuracy is 24. I think the goal here is, again, you have to look this in the context of using full setups. That's the way this reads to me, and my expectation of what's going to happen is it's going to reinforce the current meta more than anything else. You're going to be either running full DR or evasion or none whatsoever. Like all of these 1, 2, 3, 4 DP builds, they look to be getting absolutely destroyed. Maybe you can run one and still have enough damage. But in general, but you're still losing a ton of defensive stats versus using 2 or 3 before, right? So it's not looking super solid for the balance builds, as PA called them. And I definitely expect to see you're either going full Glabs build or full DP build. And if you're playing a class, at least in group PP, large scale PP, where those builds aren't viable for whatever reason, well, time to find a new class, right, for that kind of content. Yeah, so again, I think the plan here is if you're expecting somebody to run full evasions, then they're still going to gain a lot of evasion. And that means that you're going to have to use more accuracy crystals, even though accuracy is getting buffed. Instead of using 2, 3, maybe you have to use 3, 4, 5. And that means you lose so much AP that you're doing less damage to the DR builds. So I think that's what they're aiming for, but it really just seems to only be balanced around full-on 100% invested builds to either tankiness or damage. But let me know what you guys think about this and how it will affect the meta. But yeah, that's how I'm reading this change. And this is why I really hope that they are doing some class balance later, because, yeah, it's kind of cooked. Also, for a 6 DR crystal build, you're going to lose, I think it's 34 DR. The total loss, I remember correctly, is 34 DR with everything included, with 6 DR here now. And I think it's also 16 AP loss as well. And then, yeah, evasion is going to be gaining 66 evasion. It has 60, so 6 evasion build, but still completely nuked the AP and everything. Yeah, also the BSR crystals, no changes on hand, but they are removing the sheet AP reduction on all of this. So there's no sheet changes anymore on any of the crystals. All of it is hidden. And this matters for Throne Vedana. That's gonna be a mess. But yeah, so here we go. You got this stuff here. Same with the AP. It's a hidden AP instead, right? So it's gonna be around the same. And before, you are like, well, what about we just put on good old school Cadre ruins, all that stuff? Yeah, they also gave those minus AP. So they actually thought ahead about people theory crafting and bypassing the intended change by going back on gearing. They already accounted for that and added more minus AP to them, so that's not gonna work for these bruiser builds either. Yeah, so that's what it's looking like. It's a bit interesting. Also, yeah, for Idana builds, you can now be rocking 6 DR. You couldn't before. You couldn't use a single DR crystal or evasion or whatever for Throne Vidana because, well, you had to have the sheet stats. No sheet stats reduced anymore on these crystals, which means that you can just do that. And, I mean, I know it doesn't affect that many people, but there's already a sort of like meta where some classes go 200% BSR and they try to survive until the very last like 10 seconds. They drop to 200% BSR and they win off of having the HP reduction and it just being alive, right? And now you can still do that, like 4 of these, and then put on 2 DR. So the chance of you making it to the very end is just way higher. Or you just go full tank and try and stall and win on HP or tank with a V at the end, or like gear stats. I don't know, I feel like that's an oversight by PA, but yeah, it doesn't affect that many people, so yeah, we'll see. Okay, some changes here. Change the notification message, so I guess it doesn't tier anymore for Bongwater, Hentai, or Graph tier. PA, allow us to heat them for magical shards already. The market is ridiculous. Make these heatable for magical shards. It should be easy. It's a slam dunk. Time to alleviate the PMC market a little bit. They changed the name of the diving whenever you use the costume. Not really a big thing here. The text and description of functional costumes that state the set effects cannot be shared with the costumes. Cannot be applied with costumes have been improved. Okay, so text change. Here they're adding a description in the Crocodile stable about how it works. For people that don't know, that's all it is. And, okay, yeah, the Garnite weapon have a different marketplace value, min price. So you guys obviously know that the pin Black Star market is crashing right now. We're talking sub 20 bill, still getting min listed because of all the free ones we've been getting with all the Academy. So great time to come back as a player or start as a new one. Tons of freebies and very, very cheap progression gear. Really speedrunning that catch-up phase. Anyway, Garnite had a minimum limit of 30 bill, but it shares the price with the Black Star, so there's some issues here in terms of min price and then being able to list and not list and all that. So they are adjusting it to be the same as pin Black Stars which is, we now know, it was data mined, but it's good to get confirmation, 3.3 billion silver. So that means that the pinned black stars could keep crashing all the way down to 3.3 bill. I don't think it's gonna happen, but yeah, that is the absolute min price of those. Okay, there's some changes here to world bosses. Good changes. This is good. I'm really happy personally with the change they did to Land of Morning Light. The buff rewards are so good. I love that you have the seals, so you can do any of the bosses. You don't have to try and hit all 4, whatever fits your schedule. And if you miss a week, well, it doesn't matter if you've killed them before, so you don't miss out on the rewards. Hope to do that with other bosses as well and boss seals. But they're making some adjustments here. And the first one is, it seems a lot of you guys love the Land of Morning Light as well, because they die so fast that they die in people's loading screens, right? So just the announcement come out, somebody tries to lock, by the time they are loaded out, the boss is already dead. So they are buffing the HP of the bosses by 1.5 times, so 50% more HP, which is fine, right? They die so fast right now, even at off hours. Yeah, and they are also removing some iframe patterns for some other world bosses. Need to buff these bosses too, right? Time. The pattern of being able to use world bosses changed during the boss subjugation. Iframe has been removed from the Saka, and instead it has a damage reduction during the iframe phase. It's also to not like break the flow of fighting. It sucks. For like great example is Garmoth. It's just boring. It flies up in the air. Just boring. You're standing there waiting. It's more fun hitting a boss and doing reduced damage than it is standing AFK just looking at it. So that's why they're adding some damage reduction on it instead. For Uturi, it's been changed to be hit as soon as possible while appearing the precision same as before, but the damage reduction rate increased is applied instead of iframe. It's also to make sure they don't die too quick, right? So next up here is the Black Temple. We already got some nerfs for the bosses. Check out my guide. If you haven't been doing the boss shrine bosses, you need to start doing them. I have a guide on all the bosses. I do them with minimum AP and 368 DP on all the bosses, including Apex and Bamboo. They are a lot more doable than you think. I break everything down in that video, link in the description. But yeah, they're actually nerfing them a bit more. So it's going to be even easier now to do them. And there are some really annoying stuff, especially Gumiho and Pig King, so I'm happy to see this. The knockbacks effects from attacks of Gumiho has been removed completely. And the damage of the enhanced charge attack of the rank 10 has, so I think it's like Calamity 10, has been lowered. But yeah, no more of the CCs, which is really a big issue. You get stuck in the CC and then you just die to the next attack. There's nothing you do about it. So yeah, that should be less annoyance with this one. The guard cross effect on the last attack of the consecutive jumps has been changed to a knockdown. And yeah. So it's one where he jumps 3 times, and then when he's the third hit, you can knock down him and he gets CC'd. I think that's the attack that's changing. This change has been made to make the gimmick of knocking him down more smooth. Which, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how, like, what the actual play here is, but it seems like you're gonna be having an easy time getting the KD. And for Sangoon, the damage from the biting attack of the Mountain Army has reduced by approximately 35%, so I guess less insta-gips when he jumps on you. But yeah, it's even without this, they are completely doable. Check out the guide. Improvements hunting monsters in Camisille. The issue where monsters would move abnormally with the Feather Wolves and Wild Phil has been fixed, and the damage has been nerfed by approximately 18%. Then we got some quests here. Olvia Academy quest objectives have been modified to now lead to Gilda. Here's a list of all these. And also here, the quest to obtain Ephiria's Speedboat Registration Certificate in advance doing the sailing quest at Olvia Academy has been changed to avoid difficulty in proceeding with the following quest. So the existing is a sailing lecture about sailing, and it's changed to prepare to head to sea by registering a ship by accepting the quest sailing lessons support. So it should just be easier to complete now if you haven't done it already, and I haven't. I'm not a sailor. This here is actually something I really like. Finding some good. This is like it's minor stuff, but I think this is important. The campus of Olvia Academy has become even more bustling. Speech bubble dialogue has been added to NPCs placed within all the academy. It just makes it feel more alive. It makes the NPCs seems like they are actually there and not just background stuff. So just some speech, some talk, a bit more bustling, as they say. I think this stuff is really important at making the world feel alive and not just an empty shell. So I'm actually happy about these small things like this. Right. For the Stars End quest, it was rebuffed or reworked last week. Great, I love it, dude. It's so nice. W way of doing it. This makes me so excited for Underwater. I think it's amazing they just decided to make the actual spot the same mobs, the same rotations, everything, and update it instead of what I was fearing and expecting. They were doing a new area. It's gonna be pillars and all that. Like, just no, it feels like Stars and it's great. Time really flies. PP is sick out there as well. We've been having GVGs quite literally every day for the last week. We're talking like until 2, 3, 4 a.m. any time on weekdays as well. It's awesome. It really just I love that place. So anyway, because of this, there's some issue with the quests. So they're adjusting that. They're just basically making the quest line for players avoid going into the new zone and getting killed by the high-end mobs. That's the TLDR. Improvement to exchange confirmation messages to appear when exchanging the brilliant splendid fairy wings for dream feathers. Okay, so I have this little rule that every time there's something to do with fairies, I will use my soapbox and shout until PA fixes this absolute garbage system that is fairy upgrades. And it is, in my opinion, the worst monetized system in all of BDO. It's the most predatory. It is the most garbage system there is. It's one of the only remaining systems where you can spend real money on this stuff and you're pretty much forced to, and you can end up worse off than you started, right? It's so simple. There's a ton of ways they can improve this. At the very least, add a prompt whenever you reroll a skill that shows the two options, and you can either keep the skill you have at the moment or choose the new skill. So let's say you have tier 4 and you want tier 5. Well, unless you're willing to just rate swipe and swipe until you get the skill, you might very well end up with tier 2 at the end of it, or no tier at all. It is insane to me that you can do that. At the very least, have a prompt, keep the skill you have or choose the new one. And then also, for the love of God, add these Thera orbs into the loyalty shop or stuff like that. But yeah, I will always mention this whenever there's something with fairies, at least if I remember it. Even if it's out of context and doesn't matter for this. But yeah, fix the fairy system, PA. Come on. The title, Olvia Fantia, has been added. You can talk to Justin Bartali at the fountain. And also, in accordance with the revamp of the Magnus main quest, the conditions for the inverted Gammoth Heart. It's Gammoth Heart you get on the white tab. Free, crazy, remember to get it and use it if you haven't already, guys. It gives 3 sheet AP and 50 accuracy if you use it on your Sovereign main hand. And it's 2 crystal slots on your Awakening. It is so good. It's so good. Tons of stats. So yeah, if you have it there, remember to equip it. I think the difference here is just the quest you have to do. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this means that you just have to do the first quest and not the entire quest line to acquire it. But you still have 61 and 200 hours play. Okay, following the pretty great buffs to rewards for Node Wars, I think like last week or 2 weeks ago, they are, right, they should, buffing blue battlefield rewards as well, and making some adjustments to the actual gameplay. So this is feedback, again, directly from you guys, and they're asking for more. Keep listening feedback, continue. Post on the forums if you have feedback. They are still making adjustments to blue battlefield in regards to your feedback. Post it. So what are they doing? I'm not going to read all the things, I'm just going to go through the stuff. The durability of the blue, the node, the fort is 25% increased because they're buffing damage against them. So currently, basically, the guild boat is too strong, it's unkillable, it's too important, they want it to be important, but it's too powerful. So they are buffing damage against the fort by all the other ships, Panaxin 52%, Heavy Carrack 52%, and Giant 870%. And here in the case of the Heavy Carrack, this is a change to the part where the damage to the Citadel is significantly less, and in reality, when hitting the Citadel, the damage is applied 1.16 times that of the Ethereal Heavy Carrack. Yeah, so buffing damage on it, I think maybe this here is for the Giant. I think that's probably what it ends up being. Google Translate, right? On top of that, damage dealt to the by the following ships against the Guild Galley have been improved, so 22.8%, 22.8%, and 29.1% more damage. So hopefully you'll be able to actually do damage to the Guild Galley. The Heavy Sailboat movement speed reduction doing the blue battlefield has been adjusted from 15% to 20% reduction to, slow down a little bit. And doing the blue battlefield, here, if you're a heavy ship, except for the merchant ship, the speed of all ships reduced by 30%, the same as before. And now the rewards. So they're adding a new token for winning, participating, all that. It's called a Wave Crystals, and it is in a shop, the integrated shop, just like the Node War seals are. And now you can get those. Plus, they're also buffing the rewards in the boxes in a pretty cool way. So the rewards obtained by participating and winning has changed. The following guild taxes are increased by around 2 times. So you get double the amount of guild money when you are on a node. Plus, you get the wave crystals. And depending on the tier, participation reward 15, 15, 17, 20, and then 10 additional for the question mark. And what can you get for them? 150 once per family will give you 3 of these Origin Stones of Aquilia, which apparently, I don't do any ocean stuff, by the way. But Bayrak helped me out a bit with this stuff. It's, I believe, used to make or reroll these new BIS ship upgrade items. So, kind of good, I guess. A 300 stack, 250, 200, 150, some titles, and a bi-weekly 300 crunch for only 20 seals. So that's going to be a bonus 600 crunch per week. The Deep Sea Stone Box once a week. Some more Crow coins, Florin books. I guess this is, 5 loot scrolls as well. Fragments, map fragments, flowers, and gold boxes. And these are the materials. So yeah, 10 is also a gold box. I believe the gold boxes are, is it 100 to 1 billion silver? Nice little bonus, but they are doing more buffs. You're also going to have the boxes you gain here. Instead of being 500 mil, it's now 1 billion. And you're getting 5 blue chests and also 15 wave crystals. And obtained according to a specific probability. There is a chance as well on winning and participating of getting a Origin Stone and a Pirate's Sunken Treasure Chest, which we'll cover in a bit as a new item. A new chest. So this here is on winning all stages and participating. I'm guessing the odds of getting it is different, right? For T4, 500 mil up to 1.1 bill. And 6 chests, 17 crystals. And stage 5 goes from 500 mil to 1.2 bill and 7 chests and 20 crystals. And then you have the bonus question mark here, which is 2 more chests, 200 mil more, and 10 wave crystals. Participation reward is going from 300 to 500 mil, and you're also getting 5 wave crystals. So that means if you do 4 nodes, 4 a week, that's going to give you the... Well, I guess it's not even that. 3 a week would be enough to get the 600 Cron Stones and have 5 wave crystals left over. Okay, this is the new reward. They're adding a element to the reward boxes. A surprise item could be dropped and bring joy to your guild members. This element was created to recreate the feeling of rejoicing together after defeating a sea monster and obtaining guild funds. While it's a rare drop, it offers a potential for all rewards from participation, so you can get it from everywhere. And we added something special to the reward box, a rare surprise item that can be dropped and bring inside. Oh, that's just it's translated. So again, like more things to give you guild funds. I really hope they're also planning on addressing the actual taxation of guild funds, but it seems like they're building into that. Right, so it's been added, and what's in it? 5,000 crow coins and a 10 billion silver guild fund item. So that's kind of nice, I guess. Being happy that your guildie got this, because it's something for everyone in the entire guild. And yeah, it's I guess a bit like the sea monster hunting. Another quality of life here. Whenever you're doing the all via pass, you now get a red dot on the one where you got a completion, so you don't have to look through it. As somebody that's been doing this and been annoyed by it, great to see. The mount level increase window has been improved so they can be moved along and drag the mouse. And for system changes, yeah, like whenever you're over 300, the Dark Origin item just can't be equipped anymore. Doesn't really do anything. And the guild leader position can no longer be delegated to trainee guild member. There are some fixes and changes. Most of this is visual stuff. Like 5th issue where opacity and the burning effects of enemies hit by fireball skill was not adjusted. Yeah, that's a lot of this is text changes, visuals, descriptions. Nothing really in here. I read through it, so there's nothing really game changing. But that is the patch today. It's a bit of a roller coaster, but I'm really interested in what you guys are thinking about this. The entire patch, but especially the changes to the crystals. I honestly don't get it, but it could be that I'm just wrong on this. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all in the next one.